Bharat, if you can start with a bit of your introduction about your profile, how you ended up at Arizona State University, and what was your thought process, when you were in India, and why did you choose to study abroad?
Sure. Yeah, it's an interesting story. Yeah, I mean, it's been about 3.5 years since I've been to the US. I'll just go back a little in time and try to make it as brief as possible. So I was doing my bachelor's at National Institute of Technology, Warangal, and I was doing my bachelor's in metallurgical and materials engineering. So, like obviously, like everybody else, I had a very little clue as to what my branch pertains when I was going into my bachelor's. But then I slowly started to get myself familiarized with the course contents and everything. So I was trying my hands at various things. The most important part, I would say, has been the seniors in my university at National Institute of Technology, Warangal. So I had a couple of conversations with them, and I did look up what were the exact career paths they were taking. So by that, I was trying to try my hands at each of them. So I did an internship at Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So that was a rigorous 3 months internship on a research topic. And then I pretty much realized that I'm not a person who is very suitable for research in material sciences. So that's one place I kind of eliminated it. And then I did an internship with a startup after I completed my bachelor's for about 6 months. So I was trying my hands at different things. What really struck me is how, would you say, the feedback from people who are actually studying in the US. So I had a lot of seniors who were doing their masters in US in different areas. So I started to talk with them, and I felt that this is something I want to do, because just given the sheer amount of the exposure they're getting in their particular roles, and also the cultural shift and the work, the work culture you have in the US. So yeah, and I pretty much did my research. I tried to understand what's the life like there in the US and everything. I reached out to some of my mentors in India, and then things worked out really well. I wanted to kind of venture into the manufacturing industry, so I also had an earlier training at one of the some other industries in Hyderabad. It's called, I guess, it's a zirconium factory. I don't exactly remember the name. So that's when I was actually introduced to industrial concepts and manufacturing concepts. So I was really impressed by that, and I wanted to further pursue my career in that. And then, I did pretty much the same routine what other students would be doing for choosing the universities, and I got into Arizona State, and hence, that's how it all kicked off. So right now, I'm working as a continuous improvement project engineer with a company called Bonduelle Fresh Americas. So what I do in my job on a day-to-day basis is I work as an internal consultant to the company, by which I try to save them money internally in their operations. So the company is a CPG based company. It's a consumer product goods based company. So they don't have a lot of profit margins, and operations is really, really important to companies like this. So they hire me to make their processes robust and strong. So that's what I've been doing for the past 1.5 years, I would say 1 year, 8 months. And till date, I guess all of my projects were about something in the mark of $6 to $8 million for the company. So I've been going strong in my role, and it's been a really enriching experience. So just to sum up, I think that's where I started off, and that's where I am right now. Hope that answers the question.
Impressive, Bharat. So, Bharat, before we go into your experience of doing the masters and everything, so let's take a step back, and if you can tell us more about, how was the entire process of the admission, starting from GRE preparation, how you did the GRE preparation, when did you take the exam, how much time you took for the preparation, and then for the applications, how you shortlisted college, how many colleges you applied to, how many admit you received, and then after receiving the admit, what was the process look like?
Sure. So I think, yeah, that's a very good question to ask. I think that'll be really helpful to share. Let me start off and see how this goes. I'm pretty much talking at the top of my head. The first thing I actually did was when I knew that I wanted to go to the US and I wanted to get more exposure, I definitely wanted to know what am I going to do? Like, am I going to do materials engineering or a metallurgical engineering, which was pretty much related to my background, or mechanical engineering, which is also kind of related to my background, or the industrial engineering, you know. So I had this plenty of options and choices which I had in front of me. So I pretty much went based off an elimination method. So I tried my hand at a material science internship, like I just told you, and a couple of other internships. So I eliminated some of them, and like I wanted to definitely venture manufacturing, but I didn't want to go into mechanical engineering, and then henceforth. I was left out with two choices, which was engineering management and industrial engineering. So that's how I chose my branch. So once you choose what you want to do after you go to the US, or what is the kind of the branch you want to take up, I think everything else falls in line. And I came to this conclusion after my third year, second semester. That's when I was done with, I guess, two internships in India. Then I started to look up the universities in the US, look up the life in the US. So in 3-2 or around in 3-1, or third semester, third year, first semester, I guess I gave my first attempt in GRE, and I scored like about 316 or 317, somewhere around that range. I wasn't really happy with my score initially per se, but I just went ahead and I applied to university. So the process of applying or shortlisting the universities was I had a cousin in the US who was doing his bachelor's in chemical engineering, and he was actually working out there. So I used to have long conversations with him, and I think what really helped me out was that he mentored me a lot. So we had a lot of back and forth conversations as to what I want to do and what actually works in the job market. Because the way I see it, it's a return on investment gamble. So if you were to choose something which you really like, but if it does not have a payoff, I don't think that's the smartest move to go about. At least that's what I think. So, but picking between engineering management and industrial engineering, I chose him as my mentor, and he was actually trying to coach me on the different universities, different job markets, different areas, so on and so forth. So by that process, I guess I shortlisted 8 universities, and I think it's pretty standard. From the top of my head, I could say you will have 3 achievable, 3 moderate, and then 3 dreams, something of that sort. So I guess I shortlisted 9 universities. I looked up the stats online. I used a lot of online resources like GyanDhan, so on and so forth. And I sorted out my applications with my GRE score and TOEFL score. And I think that was by 3-2 or after 3-2, maybe in 4-1. So, and then I got my results back. I guess I got admitted into like about 5 out of the 9 universities. And then again, that was again a rigorous filtering process. So, and then I started looking into the coursework of each of these universities. So first I knew that all of these were good universities, and then industrial engineering is a good branch over there. And next I started to look into the coursework, and then I filtered out the coursework. And then I guess SUNY Buffalo, which is in New York State, and Arizona State University at Arizona were 2 contenders, were my 2 top choices finally. And then USC, University of Southern California, and California, LA. So these were my 3 choices to actually go in. So, and again, I had my own equation, which was the amount I could spend, the job market over there, and the living conditions over there. So I considered all of these factors, and I went with Arizona State University.
So thanks a lot, and best of luck, everyone, and a special thanks to Bharath for his time.
The pleasure is mine. Good luck, guys.